Okay.
All right, here's that canine map.
Oh, excellent.
Got another copy. Mr. President?
Thanks, sir.
Jailhouse dog.
Don't know that that's gonna be the official
It's
name,
kind
but
of cute.
Are you gonna allow our staff to adopt the dogs? I heard a rumor.
that is strictly up to the Humane Society. They deal with all of that.
Yes, sir.
What they told me is most dogs are already adopted before they complete the program, because there's that much of a need.
Did you guys have a chance to cogitate, to discuss?
Wow.
That'll get you more than county time.
Yeah, that's, there you go.
What does that mean?
To discuss the posting at the time clocks.
We did. Did you guys have an opportunity to talk about any of our things?
I asked first.
What are you gonna give me for it?
We actually
Promise I'll read this.
wanted to see the directives and the plans on the kennel and the coop before we agreed to anything. And I guess this is the boilerplate. This is the 15th of January. This is the first I'm seeing this.
I think we emailed it to you, but that's okay.
Because we really don't know what we're agreeing to. We're gonna need time to digest this. Do we have any directives on the sewing or any directives on the chicken coops or plans? Any safety precautions, procedures? Because we really don't know what we're agreeing to without seeing that.
Yeah, I seriously doubt that we have any.
We're just opening and closing the gates, that's all. They're not running the program, are they?
These programs are gonna have impacts to the jail. So, I mean,
Your impacts on the,
you've got a canine policy here, where's the chicken policy and the soda policy? And
well, it's actually, it's not a policy, that's the agreement with.
Well, you're right, this is the
Yeah.
agreement.
Yeah, this is the agreement with the ASPC.
Okay, so we still don't have a directive then on how it will be implemented here in the jail, correct?
We're not gonna have that.
That's the canine right there. But we don't, the program, what we are offering up is the opportunity for the volunteer to come in and run her program and teaching the inmates. I don't do a directive on that. I just approve that kind of a program to take place at the jail. I don't do a policy, I don't do any of that. We don't tell the AA folks how to do their program. What we do is we say, you can come in and have access to our inmates for the Alcoholic Anonymous program. We don't tell the chaplain how to run their program. We just say you can have access to the inmates.
Okay.
So that's what we've done with all the volunteers.
Well, just for, as an observation, 4.0, it has some stuff that goes right to the workers, inmate trainer / caretaker criteria, which looks very good.
That is from the Humane Society and the program that they're doing at Tomoka. So it's basically been where it's at Tomoka, we put us. once again, it's the Humane Society's program, but this is the criteria that they want us to use in the training of those dogs, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. Let's see. I mean, there's a little, it is a little thing, but each inmate assigned to the program will sign a release for the purpose of publishing photographs of the inmate with the canines in the program or for related purposes.
And we do that anytime we take a photo of an inmate, whether they're out on the beach, painting the seawall, if they're filling sandbags, that's the county's ruling in
Yeah.
regards to them, so that
But
they
that's
can-
none of our business.
Right, I mean, that's.
But
something-
taking pictures of the officer, I know, it's just a little thing, that's how I introduced it. I mean, that we would just stick in there. Or we would stick in another document, because this is really a document that describes the relationship between you and the Humane Society. So it wouldn't go there. So these are little things.
Well, we don't want anyone to take pictures.
No, this would be our media folks taking pictures for publicity. The media is real good about pointing out any negatives. Our
They need to
media
have the truth.
folks will be wanting to come in and take pictures of some positives within the county. But before we take photos of inmates, we get them to sign a release form. I have no
So the
idea.
Rich's position is that he wants to make sure we're not going to take photos of the.
I don't know that our guys care.
Right, but we wouldn't.
I don't even know what the ruling is on that as far as the county taking pictures of us during we had staff down at the marathon. I don't know if there's pictures taken and put in the newspaper what or if the news journal snaps a shot of us. They don't come and ask us if they can put our photo in there. Now. I'm not even sure what that issue would, be around.
Well, you ought to negotiate the Disney musicians contract. No thanks.
Are they dog lovers?
They got Goofy and
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah, that was,
They took a second. Must be good. Okay, so what say you, Mr. Walker, with respect to crocheting?
Well, I mean, I'm not, to sit here and talk about something is great, but to see it actually, being acted out, I mean, that was our concern during the caucus, and people, a lot of worries, a lot of concerns, what about this, what about that? We just, I don't know, I don't, and the director's saying there is no directive. We just put something into play and.
No, no directive. Directive on how the items are gonna be controlled. As we toured today, the attorney noticed that we had 2 gates open. And he questioned it because he was a correctional officer at one point in his life. And I said, that's a violation of our policy. So, we have a rule that says you won't leave 2 gates open at the same time. But on the unit today, when we were walking around, officers didn't follow the policies. So I think you're asking me to put a policy out. I don't know that the officers are gonna follow that policy. But what I can tell you is that the directives are in place to account for those crocheting needles, whether they be plastic or metal. If they make plastic, I've got no objection to that. as long as the program person can teach that with plastic, makes me no difference. The end result's gonna be the same. But what I can tell you is the procedures are in place. Whether the officer on duty at that time follows that procedure, I can't tell you that. That would only be, you all determining whether or not staff follow what we tell them to do. It was obviously not being followed today, but the directive is there, if that makes sense.
Yes. We just got bombarded during the caucus period about all sorts of things, all manners of things. Chicken coops, what happens if it attracts predators, what happens if an inmate comes in and won't cover with chicken shit, what happens when this happens, when the
I
dog
get it, we
bites.
could play what ifs all day
Right.
long, but history is out there, and other people are doing it. We're not trailblazing here.
Right.
We're benchmarking folks that are already doing it and have successful programs.
They go out and get dirty now on a crew. What do? They're already doing it, they're already going out.
There's already a rule.
So we're talking about chicken shit and dirt, two different things.
I mean, this,
But for some people, like you're saying, where are you gonna put, like, you know how they bring in the other inmates anyway, when they go out and work on trucks? Where are they gonna change before they go back to the units? And that's a concern, because they'll be dragging chicken
Well,
crap into.
there's a water spigot outside. They wear rubber boots when they're in there. My recommendation, and part of our
Well, it's just a question,
procedures,
yeah.
would be that they rinse their boots off before entering the building. I'll put that into play, but it will be security to ensure that that happens. Once again, I can put the procedure in place, but I can't hold the hand of the officer who's expected to follow policy, as once again today was, observed not being followed. I can have the best
We're
policies
not
in
gonna let
place.
that go away, are you?
I'm not gonna let it go away, you're right.
our illustrious attorney here suggested possibly a 90 or 120-day pilot program where we come back at the end of that period and discuss any of the little nuances from programs or things that may have gone wrong. Like I say, it's hard for me to say, okay, we agree to all of this, when I got my butt what-ifed, and there's a lot of concerns from the officers. So I don't know if we could agree to anything. I mean, obviously you're gonna implement your plans, you're gonna do that.
But no, here, look, you hit the nail on the head. We're gonna ultimately implement it, we all know that. Kick me from over there, I have no issue whatsoever with going ahead and implementing these, and if issues arise, coming back to the table and talk, just like we're talking about these issues right now. I don't have an issue. If we have some problems out there that we need to solve, let's come back to the bargaining table and talk about ways we can fix it.
It's no different than anything else we do.
Right, that's not even, that's.
It's not even
We do that all-
wasting
we
time
already do all
talking
that.
about that.
No, we'd like to have that formalized, that's all. Whoop-de-doo.
I have no objection.
We have no issue whatsoever.
If the director could, we'd need an email issued throughout the jail about who's allergic to chickens or dogs or whatever the situation may be. We can compile a list. I could put out a union email, but there's maybe 20 people that aren't in the union, so we would know. If you could do that countywide, that would be greatly appreciated.
So what are we trying to determine?
Allergies to...
Basically the dogs, so that I don't assign them to the dogs?
Correct, and chickens.
The dogs and chickens.
That's fair. Or not.
No,
Let's just see what happens.
We'll first see what happens, if you get 50 people,
Right.
spend an hour or two.
If 2/3 of the department,
If you got one or two, we're not gonna say.
I know it's not gonna happen, so let's just.
You might have some people who are phobic to large dogs in a limited situation.
or, and I think we mentioned, somebody just may not want to,
We're working on all that. I just like I said, if you get 50 people, they might talk about it, not, I don't have an issue.
As far as the knitting, crocheting goes, I mean, I'm out of my depth there when it comes to crocheting, I really am. plastic needles, I don't know, you'd have to ask the officers, how long are they?
They're about this, like,
A little longer than
they're
this?
about like, yeah,
Okay.
maybe a little longer.
If you've got a way to contract them and control them, or, like I say, I'm out of my depth when it comes to crocheting.
That's why we've identified the procedures for that. Inventory before they leave, we count them
Count.
again.
And this is in writing.
Yep. Gordon's already got all that.
Okay, no, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
If you could give me a copy of that. Anything having to do with what we've dealt with and spoke about today, policies, any changes, anything in writing that I can give to the members and Rich and I can discuss.
And we're agreeing we're gonna implement these things on the 120, on a 120 pilot.
Yeah. We'll come back in 120 days. And
Well, let's come back 30 days before the pilot program ends,
90 days.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll come back in 90 days.
and then we will, if we need to affect Spark, we can do that. But I think, yeah, I'm sure we will see some things that both parties will agree need to be tightened up.
That's fine, and you don't have to wait.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
As
So
it
I'm sending
goes.
an email out to all staff asking who is allergic to dogs and who is allergic to chicken shit and feathers. You said,
I had to say it.
Yeah.
I did, I want to get that on camera. All right, I just want to make sure I'm touching the
Any
bases.
known allergies? Well, I don't.
Known unknowns?
Well, always getting into the hip areas by sending this. Well, that's what it is.
Oh, my God.
No.
You gotta ask him about that.
How about feces?
No?
No, because HIPAA implies the insurance providers.
You're supposed to be a professional.
How about if I just send it out and say anybody objecting to the dog program or working with dogs or working with chickens? Then we're not getting into their allergies
You
and all
might get a
that.
long list.
Okay, well, people don't like doing strip searches either, but it's a part of our, it's a part of our job,
If
so.
that turns out to be a long list, then
We
that
can
means
narrow
we
it
have to
down.
narrow it down.
And like I
don't think it
said,
will
Well, I
be.
just asked my
medical
questions.
issues dealing with dogs.
look at the yes or no.
No, again, I don't want it to be limited to that. There just may be somebody who just doesn't want to. If it turns out there's a zillion or 50 people, then we tighten it up.
Or maybe
We go
people that don't
around
know they're
to-
allergic to something.
Yeah.
If they don't wanna do it, let him.
Maybe some people that would like to be in a position where they get to interact with dogs every once in a while. So you may have some
Well,
people that
honestly,
won't wanna do it.
before the union got voted, we had 4 officers that came and volunteered to work with that program, with the dog program. So I don't really think, I think we're just wasting time here talking about it, honestly. I don't think it's near the issue we think it might
That's
be.
fine, if it becomes an issue.
Just be careful with Fair Labor Standards Act.
But it's female, but it's female.
Working with
Right, it's all gonna be female, right?
Initially.
But I could, hopefully not taking these dogs home, right?
Are we able to guarantee that we won't have to work mandatory overtime to cover East Wing's posts that are opening though? Is that something that we can do?
No, can't.
I don't know how you could possibly do that.
Because that's gonna create 8 spots.
But so do inmates being assigned to the hospital, which I have no control of.
So that'll be additional spots, over 8.
So I cannot guarantee mandated overtime in any way, shape, or form at the present time. We're gonna continue to work it as we have, and we will continue. I hate it as much as you do.
Well, that will be one of the things that we will be able to address in the 90 days into the pilot, if we see that. Well, let's wait till we get we got the dog thing.
90 days from the implementation date, because I'm not ready to pull the trigger on the dogs right this second.
What about the chickens? What do they do?
Chickens are the last thing right now. I'll tell you, the crocheting's gonna be the quickest.
I can't imagine that there's people allergic, well,
No.
Well, yarn.
Yeah. Okay, 120 days is after implementation. I just want to leave you guys with one comment that a young lady made to me in an email the other day. And it gets all back to the whole issue of what's on the officer's plates now. She said, Mr. Walker, daycare is raising my children. I did not have children so that they could be raised by daycare. And, that kind of, hit home with me. So I think when we meet at the table on the 28th, that we do everything we can to tackle the real issue, which is not, money is an issue, but quality of life is also on the table.
Unfortunately, it goes hand in hand,
It
because
goes hand in
unless we get that starting wage up to attract folks, those positions are gonna continue to remain unfilled.
If you get the starting wage up and everybody's still getting worked to death, it's still gonna be flowing over the Seminole.
well,
Well, you've already raised the starting.
Obviously, they
You've already raised the starting.
Flowing over there.
Right.
You know what I'm gonna say, I'm not-
Yeah, well, no, I'm not suggesting that we would just say,
I don't
raise the
know.
starting and not do anything for people in range.
Well, they've already
I
done
mean,
that.
That's what they did last
They've
time.
already done that.
But we have to
Flowing over
look at that
there, they
again.
didn't have an issue.
I mean, so it's a process.
No, I understand, I'm just saying, I didn't want to
Get the
beat
money
a
out.
dead horse, we already heard it before time.
They won't flow over there.
there's a lot of people who really made a commitment to the county.
So did we get permission to post by the time clock?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other hand?
Thank you.
Thank you very much, see you on the 28th.
Very good.
This was the little thing I made up as well.
We'll reassess that in 100.
Exactly.
Any issues with that? I don't see it.